Welcome back. It's your host, Mr. Gray. I just want to thank you for tuning in on this fine day. I apologize for the long absence, as usual. I have to say, as usual. I haven't gotten drops that I felt were worth putting up. Um, okay, that's a lie. I have gotten some drops that should have been put up, but I have been vacationing in and out, been working on some work projects, and so I've been just a little busy. So I do want to apologize. I haven't been on as much as I can. I do have a couple shoes I do need to review, and I will be pushing them out hopefully in the next week or so. But today I am here to talk about a shoe that's it's Grail adjacent. And so when I say that, what I mean is, so I personally, and I know it's not everybody, because I know there's some people who hate this shoe, and there's some people who love this shoe, and some people who are confused why people even care about this shoe. But I've always wanted the Tom Sachs Mars Yard, and I specifically wanted the 2.0. I like the 1.0, but specifically I've always wanted the 2.0. The prices have ballooned way past anything I'm ever gonna pay for. They're in the thousands. Not even the. It's. I think it's probably over 3,000 if you want to buy aftermarket now. Something that I never even consider paying. But when I heard that the Tom Sachs General Purpose Shoe was gonna come out, you know, I don't know if I heard a lot of fanfare, like everybody like, oh my God, I've been waiting for this shoe all my life. I knew it was going to be a shoe that would sell out, and I also knew it was going to be a shoe that I was going to want and I was going to need in my collection. And I got it, and I'm excited, and I'm super excited. Weirdly, it just dropped again, literally, for a second time. So the first time it dropped on the Tom Sachs website, and it dropped for a second time on the Tom Sachs website. Which is just interesting. He did say though on his Instagram that, guys, that if you missed out on it, don't worry, we're gonna push out more pairs. You won't have to pay aftermarket. Although that's a lie, because the strength of the box is always pretty strong. Anyway, it is what it is. I won't even go into that. Either way, I don't want to hold you guys. You know what I'm here for. I am here to put this shoe in the light box. So before we jump in the light box, I'm just going to show you. Got that classic orange box. That it has the classic orange Nike box look without giving you the let me see. Well, no, that's not the same. Nah. I don't see one that I want to compare it to. But you have that same Nike orange box, except you have that NikeCraft labeling there. On the back it says, own less, do more. Tom Sachs, NikeCraft. And you just see that beautiful general purpose shoe. So this one came out in the women's sizing, which really means nothing. It just means instead of the men's size being on top, they flipped it. Now the women's size is on top and the men's size is on the bottom. Same difference, which is no difference. So my size 12 in women's, 10.5 in men's. And on the inside of the box, you have, a little message here. NikeCraft shoes are manufactured to the exact specifications of champion athletes, and blah, 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 blah. I'm not reading all that. It's not that special to me. I've read it before. Anyway, without further ado, let's do what you guys came here to see me do. Put this shoe in the light box, because if you don't have it, you really want to know if it's worth paying aftermarket, or if you were lucky enough to get it today well, depending on what day I drop this video, y'all. It dropped today on Friday, but if this video goes up on a Saturday, then it dropped yesterday. Either way, we're going to jump in the light box and get a closer look of the Tom Sachs General Purpose Shoe in light cream, white, light bone colorway. To the light box we go. So into the light box, as promised, we have the Tom Sachs General Purpose Shoe in all of its glory. So, as I said, this is Grail adjacent. It will never live up to the Mars Yard, but I don't think that's what Tom Sachs is asking it to do. Personally, I think this was executed perfectly. His designs are very basic, but I don't know. I think it's the subtlety of his shoes that make them, to me, so amazing. I know I'm giving it way more props than some of you guys are like, oh God, it's gross. But anyway, before we jump into that, let's just say the colors again. So, light cream, white, and light bone. All right. So let's start with the outsole. So you have this outsole here, which has very, very thick treads on it. If you look, you can see how deep those actual knobs are on the bottom of the shoe. This shoe, it's definitely a general purpose shoe. So typically when you have, treads or knobs, I guess you could say, this thick, they would be on a more of a hiking shoe. But it's like he took a hiking element, a dress element, and a sneaker element, and he put them all in one. And I guess I can see it makes sense why he called it a general purpose shoe, because it can function as several things, walking every day or walking off the grid as well, which means, probably light hiking. But, you can just use it as a general sneaker, general everyday worn sneaker. So let's jump into more of the colorway. Well, actually, one last thing, you can see the way he does the Nike logo right there on the bottom in his usual fashion. Even the patent part right there has a certain font that's different. It doesn't have that regular, I don't even know which font is normal, but it doesn't have a normal font on it. The midsole is, well, you can see as it's a kind of a tan, a brown color, pretty thick, but it doesn't have, and once again, this is my personal opinion, it doesn't have that offensively Air Force One thickness look. Sorry, I am not an Air Force One. As a child, when I was young, I loved Air Force Ones. I do not love them as an adult. Anyway, moving along. So that I'd say this is brown. Then you have the tan. You have the tan part. So right around the toe box, you have that tan. But then there's that bone part that we're talking about, and I'd actually say this part here. So okay, let me back up a bit. The tan suede that's around the toe box, the outer toe part, that's the tan part. But on the toe box, you actually have two different textures here. So you have this texture, which is, I couldn't even tell you what that is. It's kind of I don't know, almost feels like paint or laminate of some sort. But that's that bone color. This right here is bone as well, but this is more of a mesh. It's actually, I don't even know how to say. You see how thin that is right there? That's actually right there. You can see as opposed to my finger. That's how thin this part is in here, right there along the toe box. You have several suede elements on the shoe. So on the side panels, right below the side panels, you have more of that tan suede. And then, on the heel, at the top of the heel and the bottom of the heel, you also have that suede going all the way around. And then you have that Tom Sachs way or font that he has in making the Nike, has Nike written out. So that suede kind of goes all the way around. But on the side panels, the side panels are mainly that same bone mesh that, like I said, that's pretty thin. Let me see if I can get you a nicer close up. It's really thin. It doesn't make the shoe flimsy though. Like I've had some shoes that were okay. Well, by looks of it, yes, it does seem kind of squishy here, but it's not. I guess it doesn't seem floppy. It seems like it has a very good strength to it. Although it does collapse down pretty easy. It's not as, all sturdy as an Air Max 1 or Jordan 1, or definitely not like a Jordan 11, which is built like a tank. Let's move on to the eyelets. As you can see, the eyelets also have that suede tan. The shoestrings have that tan almost pretty close or pretty similar to that suede that's on the bottom of the shoe right above the midsole. It's pretty similar. The tongue, it's a different sort of mesh. I don't know if you can tell, but you can actually see through different parts of the tongue. I don't know if you can see my hand kind of going through there. But it's almost double meshed. It's not like it still is a thin mesh, just to throw you that, but it's double mesh. As in there's a mesh as I can see, there's actually a mesh on the top and on the bottom. So, but it's not as thick as this one because you can't really see through the mesh on the side panels and on the toe box of the shoe, but you can see through the mesh that's right here on the tongue. As you look at the tongue also, which is interesting, you see the shoestrings going right here through these loops right here, these royal blue loops. So on the heel of the tongue, the edge of the tongue, well, the heel of the shoe, the edge of the tongue, and right here where it's holding the shoestrings, you have these royal blue loops. The insole is also a shining royal blue as well. Let's see if I can see if we can get that a little clear. Has NikeCraft on the insole. No other designs on the inside of the insole. The Nike swoosh is just kind of has that what I said was kind of a laminate or a kind of, I don't know, almost like an advanced sticker. It's not a sticker though, guys. But Nike, white Nike check with the, you can see the sewing kind of going through the Nike check at 2 different points. You got the Tom Sachs information right there on the inside of the tongue, which is normal to his shoes. Blah, blah, blah. One other element, I guess, you know, as you can see right here at the front, at the tip of the shoe, right there, you can see that the outsole actually comes into the front of the shoe. I love the shoe. I've already worn it. I haven't worn it outside yet because I just haven't had a chance to. I have worn it just to kind of feel the comfort of it. It's actually really soft. I don't know if you notice right here in the heel, it's got this really soft kind of a mesh comfort. I don't know. I hate to say a foam, but I'm going to say a foam. This mesh foam in the back on the inside of the heel to make it soft in the back. It's actually really soft on the inside. I know that's something that's literally impossible to show, but I put it on and it's very comforting. I can't wait to test it. It does appear to me though this is something that'll take a good trip around the block. So anyway, I'm gonna stop there. For those who do want to sell it, if you do happen to get the new drop, it's kind of teetering somewhere between $320, $350 at the time of me recording, I think, for resale. It's a good resale because the shoe, it retails around somewhere. What the heck is the retail on this thing? I don't know. It was about $120, $130. I think it was $130. So it's actually some money to be made. Outside of that, like I said, this is just a beautiful shoe. It is Grail adjacent. I think it's a shoe you should have in your collection. But if not, it's one I had to have in mind. So anyway, I'm just going to end this with take a look at this beautiful shoe. And guys, I just want to thank you for tuning in. Mr. Gray out.